it in. So now it's processed unconsciously by the sun because our brain operates just like the sun. So when something is thrown into our atmosphere and we breathe it in, now the nucleus of the brain, which is the brain stem, right, throws it into the subconscious. Now the subconscious throws it into the ribonucleic acids. The ribonucleic acids, which is the RNA, is the messenger of DNA. DNA now then processes it, sends it back into the genetic codes, and then now dependent, I think this is what they're trying to do. This is my own opinion. I think that they're doing everything that I just told you. The DNA is what they're trying to lock down by way of the chemtrails hitting the sun, sending messages into the RNA. Now, once that happens, they're waiting on the females to give birth to a certain type of entity. They're trying to create a new race via the females or the humans on this earth. Now, there are many different earths and worlds that exist where there are other humans who have 4 arms, 2 heads. They might have 10 senses. It's nothing, irregular. It's normal. But the thing is, they've been teaching us that these things are green monsters with 2 eyes and stuff like that. That's all fucking bullshit. Now, when you go now I don't want to get off subject. Now, to go back in, I think they're taking the females and they're trying to lock down the DNA. So when they have these children, right? These children that they have, they trying to create new stock for the sex trafficking business. So now when these women start having these children, they can start giving this new energy to these beings, these reptilians that live in the inner earth that can't leave the 3rd dimension. As I was mentioning earlier, they can't leave the 3rd dimension, but they can use the energy, this emotion from these children, because once they turn 7 years old, it goes up to a higher point. It's at a higher point from birth, but it goes up to a higher point, the number 7. This is where the circle 7 comes from. The earth was created in 7, the world was created in 7 days. Bullshit. That's metaphysics. You have to look at it. They talking about bodies. So the human body has something at the age of 7 that these entities in the ground need in order to stay here, right? Adrenochrome. You ever heard of adrenochrome? Adrenochrome?
Yeah.
Right. Adrenochrome at the age of 7, they produce it more dominantly. So now, being that the sun, they send these chemtrails into the air, they're sending it's not regular chemtrails like it was 10 years ago. This is something that they put inside of the vaccine as well. So now when it touches the woman, it sits inside of her egg. It's in her genes now, it's uploaded, and when the baby comes out, it's deflected from being able to transfer into what it needs to transfer and become, to reproduce to what it needs to become. Now, they start targeting these kids. So what they're doing is, what I believe is, every woman that's giving birth past this year and forward, right, they are going to keep an eye on these children that they're giving birth to, and they're going to start stealing them out of hospitals, having certain people from the military who don't have family, who don't care about them, homeless people, they're going to start putting them under hypnosis and having them going to the hospitals, kidnapping them and bringing them to these people so that way these reptilians can steal this energy off of them, raise them until they 7, and then steal them. Like Angelina Jolie and them, they go to Africa and stuff, and they act like they're adopting, doing something good for the children, right? But what they do is they take them and they put them in their basements and they raise them to the age of 7, give them good food, get all this stuff raised, because at the age of 7, they go ahead and dominate them. It's just like raising cattle on a farm, and then once they get to a certain age, they start slaughtering them and then eating them. You get what I'm saying? And they're giving it to the public. So the thing is, this is what's going on. This is more spiritual than physical. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
So yeah. So this thing right here, this COVID vaccine is nothing but an implementation of what I just spoke about. They're trying to use a justification to start a sex. They want the product of the sex trafficking business to be better now. They're trying to create a new race of children so that these reptilians who's now leaving out because the new world coming in, and while this new world coming in, it's going to throw them out. It's just like the television when it's going blurry. Once the cable start messing up, you start losing signal. All right, this world is losing signal. So now while this world is losing signal, these beings are a part of this television that we're in. We're not. It appears that we're with them, even though we can see them. But the thing is, once this television lose signal, meaning the world is going on, this new world come in, they gone. So in order for them to be able to dwell here 50%, they have to take this thing inside of these children that they use in the sonic process, right? By way of the females here, and now taking it to these laboratories, or putting people under hypnosis, crazy people who don't got family. They send the investigators out to make sure that the people that they put under hypnosis got family. They don't have family, and nobody's going to care a fuck about them when they see them on the news. Or they already crazy anyway. So when family see it, they be like, yeah, they done it. He been doing this shit all his life. You get what I'm saying? So see, these people are smart. They know how to deceive the public, and the public is so fucking, they so sheep, willing to be led to the slaughterhouse and believe any damn thing, and don't know that everything that you believe, every time that you look at something and you process it with your brain and say, this is it, you're doing something to your soul. This is how you feed your soul, by the truth. You give it the truth, but when you feed it a lie, you believe in it. You get what I'm saying? You're giving it genetically modified principles. You get what I'm saying? So when your spirit is operating off of genetically modified principles, now it's easy to control the masses of the people now. They don't have to do it one by one. They'll use one person to manipulate the other one, and that person to manipulate, and then all of them will believe in one thing, and then you have a few people over here who not operating on that frequency say, nah, this don't look right. Not because of the common sense and calculating and what they seeing. It's just that something inside of their spirit is more ancient than the people who's being led like sheep and believing just any old thing. You get what I'm saying? So it's a few people here that they targeting, and there's a few things, and I'm gonna tell you right now. This year, it was some starseeds due to come back, right? And this is why the COVID-19, they knew this back in 2006. In 2006, they had already calculated using the consensus of the astrological clock, right? Because the clock of,
Do we have the, are you talking about like the Gregorian calendar and stuff like that?
Most definitely, all that shit is off. Everything they're giving us is off. It's off. In 2006, it was already 2020. You get what I'm saying? So they already knew what was going to happen already. It's just like you keep on coming back here, and then you experiencing the same events, and then you got some new people who've been left behind because they sheep. You get what I'm saying? They come up to this stage, you trying to tell them something, be like, nah, we don't believe that. And you be like, I've been here several times. Well, they got a system to make you look crazy and throw your ass in a nut house. You get what I'm saying? So the crazy house is full of intelligent people. You get what I'm saying? And yeah, most definitely. Most definitely.
He was at that point when they were saying that he was crazy too, and because he was trying to talk certain things too.
Right. See, the thing is, this right here, it's gonna sound crazy. Kanye West is in the sunken place. Somebody else is in there, and there's somebody who was the president. I ain't gonna call no names, but as soon as he get out that crazy house, where was he at? Standing next to who?
Right.
All right. So in the movie Get Out, they was letting you know they have to give you truth, or the remedy of deceiving the people won't work 100%. So they say, okay, they won't believe it anyway. So they have to put it through movies, because if they come up right and say it, the people gonna believe them if they come on television and say it. So you put it in the movies because they already trained you that movies is only entertainment. You get what I'm saying? When actuality, the movies is telling you the real shit. You get what I'm saying? So what happens is now Kanye West had to go somewhere to a nut house. Next thing you know, he up in the Trump Towers next to Donald Trump, right? And then you got to Get Out. You got to Get Out. And that same week, the Get Out played 11 times that same week. They aired the movie Get Out 11 times that same week. Why is that? See, people don't look at the picture. All this stuff, you see, they look with the physical eye, but their spiritual eye collected a lot of dust and spider webs. Why? Because they neglected their real mother. They always talk about they want to respect their physical mother, but you done neglected your spiritual mother. So how can I believe you want to respect your physical mother?
Right.
Even though these titles don't mean a damn thing. Because all these English terms comes from an English man, which is a newborn person who created the English language. Not all of it, because it's a bastardized language. By way of anyway, you get what I'm saying? But anyway, the language anyway is new. So therefore, before the English language that they brought forth came, you get what I'm saying? Well, what titles were we using? We didn't have a mother. We didn't have nothing to call mother, because the word mother didn't exist. We didn't have a president. The word God didn't exist. The word Jesus didn't exist. The word human didn't exist. So who the fuck are we then? Where are we? Are we really on the earth? I'm just using these things. People might say, well, you still using these terms. Yeah, for the lack of helping you see, because you still sleep. I have to let you see. I have to talk to you this way, because the only way for you to see around the picture is by the tactics that they used on you. You get what I'm saying? That's the only way to wake somebody up. You get what I'm saying? But it's not. Mm-hmm.
So now, what can we do, like, to try to, can we do anything to try to get something like, either we could grow our own crops, or what can we try to do, on our level?
All right, well, number one is we always get this thing, the notion that, all right, it's time for us to grow our own food. Yeah, okay, we need to eat, but look at this. It's been proven already that we don't need to eat but 2 or 3 times a week. Yeah, we don't need to eat but 2 or 3 times a week. We just need to drink water. So the thing is, what we need to do is start training ourselves on not eating a lot. Because if you go, because see, the thing is, we always trying to figure out a remedy that we can eat to cure, but sometimes it's what you don't eat that cures you. Because when you don't eat something, you starving something so that it don't no longer control you again. Spiritual organisms in your body, physical organisms in your body, and those spiritual organisms, right, is connected to a life somewhere that have reincarnated from being slaughtered. So when you slaughter these animals, you think that they don't come back? You think that force that was in that animal is not coming back to life in another organism? So now you got to understand that if it goes into something that's deadly or sick in this reincarnation, you still connected to it. So now you sick. It goes beyond physical karma. This spiritual karma is real.
Yeah.
And it's worse because everything you do here determine what goes on past what you see with your physical eye and what you can perceive with your physical brain. Because because the universe is a large brain. You get what I'm saying? It's a larger brain. And it controls everything in it. It tells the plants how to grow. It tells the birds where to fly. It's called morphogenetic resonance. Look at that, morphogenetic resonance. And it's a book that you can get on that. And it talks about how the birds, when you see a flock of birds flying, maybe 50 birds flying all in one direction without hitting each other, that's because you're looking at one bird. You think you're looking at 50 birds. When you're looking at one bird, it's just fragmented. Imagine if you fragment it right now, right? And then your particles start moving around, not bumping each other or nothing. You'll be like, oh, that's many particles. I see it as one person. That's one particle right there I'm looking at. That's why it ain't bumping itself, because it's being careful with itself. It's moving in the same direction. They all moving in the same direction together. It's called morphogenetic resonance. It's called a morphic field. Right. Yeah. Fish do the same thing.
You were talking about those mountains that had electricity over in, I think you was in Arizona. You was somewhere where it was mountains.
Yeah, Utah, Arizona, Las Vegas. This is where they do experiments.
I think he was at.
Mm-hmm.
And you were saying that there was some electricity going inside the mountains, so you think there's kids and stuff in those mountains?
Yeah, this is where they have the sex trafficking and all that stuff. This is the holding. This is where you go in for holding. Just like we go to jail, you got to go there. You got to be processed and holding and all that stuff.
You know why?
Yeah.
You know why you're right? Remember those people who was trapped in those caves? Those young boys, we don't hear nothing about it again. Remember they were trapped in some cave somewhere?
Yeah, it was there. It was there, and it was in certain military bases over in New Mexico. So in New Mexico, they had military bases where they had children trapped. And what happened was they tried to put them on a space shuttle, right, and send them up to certain entities. It was blurred because when I had the so-called sleep paralysis, at the time, it was kind of blurry. They tried to take these kids and put them on a spaceship and send them into some type of dark hole or something like that to see if they can use a certain type of machine. They was building a CERN machine, a hydrogen machine, a CERN. It was like a CERN machine where they take and collide particles, and they wanted to see if they can squeeze it out of the children instead of having to use it at a certain specific time to gain their energy, drain their energy. So they were trying to do experiments on them using a certain military project. So the military is the biggest sex trafficking business. People think that it's just corporations. Our United States military, the Russian military, Germany, all these things are the biggest sex trap. All this shit is connected together. Walmart is with the military. All of them with them. You get what I'm saying? The people that's giving us vaccines, they doing sex trafficking. The people that created the COVID vaccines, they doing sex trafficking. And these people don't know that the ones that's supporting the vaccines, they don't understand that they are third parties to these sex trafficking. These kids being attacked sexually and spiritually. A lot of people won't be in for a rude awakening soon.
Right.
Yep. So.
Yeah, because my friend just told me that they're going to be trying to give these vaccines to these children that's 5 to 11 years old. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, that's crazy.
That's a part of it.
And that's a part of it.
Mm-hmm. Most definitely. Yep. So you got these entities that's now their channel changing because they on channel 3, right? This is why the news in the 90s had to change and go to another channel. When you look at CNN in the 90s, it wasn't on the same channel that it is today. You get what I'm saying? People don't understand why. They look at that as something small. No, they had to change the channel because in order for them to keep controlling through the news, these entities had to be in cahoots with the channels or the energy of these channels. You get what I'm saying? That is manipulating you through the news. So therefore, people don't understand why they call it the news. Why they call them channels? To channel in on you. Why they call them programs? To program you. Right. All you got to do is look at it, and your eyes is a brain. People don't understand that your eyes operate like a brain. It has different systems. Your eyes alone has systems in it. So once you look at something, it's downloaded into the brain, and it affects the subconscious, and then it sends it into your DNA. And then next thing you know, everybody in that area of the city got the flu. Oh, it's flu season? Nuh-uh. Well, I was near such and such and I caught the flu. No, it ain't because of that. It's because all of y'all watch the news at a specific time. They know that 85% of America going to be watching the news at 6 o'clock. Okay. So now let's call it the flu season. So now we can experiment on them, right? Via the signals that we send, those viruses that we send through the signals that hit that TV on the 6 o'clock news around the flu season. And now everybody's sick.
And everybody's sick.